let me enter this first of all. Reparations. We always
Reparations.
Black people say we should get money.
Yeah. 40 acres in a million.
No, we should get some money back from the United States for slavery, for all them years of slavery, because this country was built on the backs of slaves.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's roll this.
3,700 free blacks who own 12,000 slaves, black slaves. The question is, do the descendants of those free blacks who own black slaves, do they pay? Blacks really benefited more the first 100 years after slavery we have in the last 50 years. Every solution has to have a winner and a loser. That blacks can only benefit if whites lose.
I know history, but
Right.
I still don't look at myself as a victim of that history.
Right. Do you feel we should get reparations back? Get money back, because of slavery?
Nope.
There's a lot of us that think that we should.
Some people think they should. If they want to give it, give it.
They give it,
accept
yeah,
it, but
like you shoot it. But like I'm saying, I'm not pushing for that.
I ain't pushing.
It's kind of ridiculous in a way, because like he said, a lot of the things they didn't teach me in history was they didn't teach me that it was blacks that owned slaves too. Mm-hmm. They never taught me that part. Wait a minute. So you mean, hold on. No. You just told me that white people, you told me that it was white slave masters. No, there was black slave masters, black slave owners. So now, how come y'all didn't tell me about that part of our history?
It started with the blacks selling them people.
There was something I watched the other day, and it said, he was talking about, if we're going to talk about reparations, okay, reparations is ridiculous, because if it wasn't for black people would not have been in slavery. It was those black that were conquering other villages and stuff in Africa and were selling them.
People, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, so now do we have to go back to Africa? And we got to get reparations from them, because they started this whole wheel. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so then it's like, if we're gonna talk about giving back stuff, right? Then they said California, that belonged to Mexico.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do some representation, if we're gonna get that back, are we gonna give California? We're gonna get California back.
Everybody deserves so.
Okay, we're gonna give Texas back to remember the Alamo. So if we're gonna start doing these things, right? So everybody, then I guess we gotta make it equal across the board. Then we drop down to 48 states and give Mexico back what's truly theirs. I think the reparation today is, man, that we all now have the opportunity to get what was once said that only white man had the ability to get. We all got access to it. Pay your bills,
go work,
keep your credit score up, and guess what? You can walk into a parking lot on a car lot and say, I want that right there, and I'm not putting no money down. Just because of that number, not because of your color. All right, so what we got up here next? This is an experiment.
Did an experiment with a group of women, and they put scars on their faces, and they told these women that they're going into a job interview, and the purpose of the experiment is to find out whether people with facial disfigurements face discrimination. They showed them the scars in the mirror. The women saw themselves with these scars, and as they led them out of the room, they said, we're just going to touch it up a little bit. And as they touched it up, they removed the scarring completely. So the women went into the job interview thinking that they are scarred, but actually being their normal selves. And the result of the experiment is that those women then came back reporting massively increased level of discrimination.
All right, so he's saying they did an experiment
with the scars.
And they thought they said, we want you to go in and want you to see how you're treated with the scars on your face.
Cover the scars.
But they took the scars off, and they thought they still had the scars. So they went in with this belief, as they're looking at them, as they're doing it, they're like, oh, I know what you mean by that. You're talking about the scar. I get it. Mm-hmm. And they came out, it's like, and started giving all these reports of how they were discriminated against and how you could tell the different things that they were saying. It was because of the scar. And then come to find out,
ain't have a scar.
We took them off before you went into the interview. And what he was saying is about, we got people that feel that's oppressed. Now I have to take a look at me. Is everything I see what I think I'm seeing? I remember when I was a kid, man, 7th grade. I had this white friend named Tom. We met at school. And it's like, you want to hang out? I was like, yeah. So we went to his house, right? I was just out front. He went inside to go throw his book bag in. And he came out of the house. His mother came out of the house. And she was standing up on the stair in the doorway. She said, where are you going? She said, oh, we're going to play. And she looked at me. And she said, no, you're not. Get inside. And he said, but Mom, she said, get inside. And she's looking at me, and I'll never forget this look. I didn't understand what the look was at that time until I began to see it later.
Other grown-ups.
And other grown-ups. And people my age, and it was like, I never forget that experience that I had. And so it's kind of like, I know racism. I know, not racism, I know prejudice when I see it. Okay. And, sometimes people say, everything ain't about black and white and this and that. Well, to a degree it is. Okay, because everything wasn't about black and white. There wouldn't have to be a picture with 4 whites, 1 Asian, 1 black person, 1 person you can't tell if they're white or black, 1 woman, 1 this and that. And if it wasn't about black and white. Sometimes I used to feel like I'm sensing some racism. I'm sensing some prejudice. I can tell they're prejudiced by what he said and how she said that and this and that. And it could be true, but it could not be true. Because that's what I've been told, and